So Blizzard just created a brand new light titan called Amitus, the 11th titan that we currently have in the lore, and she is apparently a peacekeeping titan. Now of course this was added in Hearthstone, and that isn't always canon, but lore, as you may know, is always connected. I mean, it is Warcraft after all. They also added Azeroth as a titan in the new expansion, confirming that she is indeed a World Soul Titan, and also added Telagros, the Void Elf world, as a titan that fell to Sargeras. This might not really be relevant if we didn't just discover this new Void Elf zone called Shadow of Azeroth, which could be related to the next top expansion, and we also have a ton of new Titan lore, Titan retcons in Dragonflight. Could Amitus be a Titan World Soul that the Light has successfully converted? When we combine this with Titan lore and maybe possibly even Ridicom himself working with the Light, could Amitus actually be someone we could discover soon in WoW? Maybe a Titan that split from the Pantheon or that was forcefully converted. What is all this new information? Now, as WoW players, you guys have certainly tried a ton of add-ons, but Zygor is the ultimate one. It has everything from leveling, detecting your progress in real time with these waypoint arrows. You can make gold, you can do dungeons easier, professions, collectibles, achievements, pretty much all the content you can think of, and it is available for both retail and classic. And best of all, Zygor is completely free. You can try it out with my link in the description. If you guys decide to purchase it, you can get 20% off Zygor Elite with my code Doron. So check out my link in the description and check out Zygor. So right off the bat, I am aware that Hearthstone lore is not canon World of Warcraft lore. In fact, sometimes they can even be completely different, and they did state that this is a Hearthstone character that he just introduced, but I had to make a video because I feel like this is just way too much of a coincidence with the timing for it to not be at least somehow relevant to what is currently going on. I mean, right now in Dragonflight we got all this, like a ton of new Titan lore that completely retcons the Titans or potentially retcons them significantly, where they might not be as good as we believed in the past, and we're pretty much just constantly bombarded with these documents of their tyranny. The new book is even coming out talking about the origin of the Primal Incarnates, Titan tyranny, what really happened back in the day. Then we got all this new Void Lord, Cosmic Void lore. We just got a recent leak with the Shadow of Azeroth zone that is a part of that little bit of quote the last being relevant, and it is somehow related to Void Elves. They just updated the map in 10.1.5 as well. Well, in this new Hearthstone expansion, they just 100% confirmed that Telagros, the Void Elf world, is indeed the fallen Titan that we knew before. If you may remember, this is the world that fell to the Void like completely, that Sargeras split, that he didn't want to save it, he just decided to split it with his sword. I mean, we kinda knew it was a World Soul in the past, sort of, but Blizzard now just stated it clearly that it is Telagros in question. Then all of a sudden, they decided to create out of nowhere a brand new Titan, apparently a Light Titan, and we also have a lot of hints with the Light being relevant all the time. So I feel like, well, this is not as if we just discovered a new Titan in Dragonflight in some new document. There might be more to it than just completely unrelated Hearthstone content, that we really could be having something actually going on here. So to give you context, if you guys have not followed the news, Hearthstone Titans is the new Hearthstone expansion, and they wanted to create a Titan for every single playable class, and there are 11 classes, and they were essentially short of one, and instead of having one class not be a Titan in a Titan expansion, they decided to introduce a new one called Amitus, which will almost certainly be related to priests or paladins, as it seems to be a Light Titan. Essentially, they had 6 Titans of the Pantheon that we know, 7th was Sargeras. For the remaining 3, they decided to obviously confirm Argus as a Titan, which we knew with absolute certainty. I mean, we fought him, and they just 100% confirmed that Telagros, the place where the Void Elves are remnants of a World Soul that Sargeras had destroyed back in the Chronicle. However, interestingly enough, they confirmed that the 10th Titan is going to be Azeroth herself. Now, it is too early to say anything, but I'm wondering how they're going to actually create artwork for the World Soul of Azeroth, because thus far we have never actually seen what Azeroth looks like and what her likeness even is. Even more interestingly, in this Hearthstone announcement, they essentially confirmed that Azeroth is indeed a Titan, which may kind of be contradicting the current lore that is going on. Now, of course, to not make my headcanon canon, by default, unofficial chronicle lore that we've had for like 10 years, it was said that Azeroth is indeed a Titan world soul that the Pantheon wants to awaken. However, so many other documents, old god documents, Shadowlands documents of the brokers and such have claimed that the Titans like to make up stories, to just create their own realities, to pretend like they're the first ones. There was even a recent book that said that Azeroth is elemental in nature. This is a book from Dragonflight, and it might not even be an Arcane world soul that the Titans wanted to be. However, in this Hearthstone expansion, they classified Azeroth as a Titan world soul, which may be a confirmation that she is actually just a Titan and there isn't really anything deeper to it. However, the reason I'm obviously making this video is Amitus, a completely brand new character that Blizzard has just introduced, and apparently she is a light Titan, which is just something that is unheard of. I would say unholy, although I wouldn't say unholy with the light. Sure, the Titans are obviously closer to the light as beings of order, cosmological beings, but still, it is a completely different cosmological force. It is very much similar as if they just revealed a new Void Titan, and this is just a thing that is in the lore. As I mentioned, light is connected to order, at least it is much closer than the other chaotic energies such as Fel or the Void, but nothing ever indicated that these guys were allies in any way, shape, or form, so it could be possible that this 11 Titan Amethyst may have been an exile of the Titan Pantheon that they just deleted out of history, or a Titan that was born from a light planet. Keep in mind, the Void throughout World of Warcraft lore has constantly been trying to corrupt and turn a world soul into one of their own to create this ultimate Void Titan. Why exactly wouldn't the light want to do the exact same thing? I mean, after all, we're constantly being told that they're one and the same, just two sides of the same coin. Could Amitus have been a planet in the Warcraft universe that the light managed to get their hands on and actually successfully turn behind everyone's back? If this is the case, it would not only make a lot of sense for some of the events that happened in World of Warcraft lore in the past, but it could also be a huge hint for what is to come. I mean, first of all, this could be a rebel Titan that decided that their order thing is just complete BS, and maybe even those rebellious Titan forged from Avaloran could be following this light Titan. Maybe the theory that Ridicon made some pact with the light could be a thing as well. He might have found this abandoned Titan and made a deal with the Titans on his own terms, although I honestly doubt the light theory right now with what has been happening in the recent Mega Dungeon. However, most importantly, could this be a hidden nuclear weapon that the light is hiding behind the scenes, and why we haven't really been hearing from the light recently, like why they have been suspiciously silent? Could it also be the reason why the light army was like, oh no anyways, like when we defeated Zera, essentially their leader? Could this also be something that Yrel and even Terralia know is behind the scenes, that is in their weapon arsenal, and it could potentially be a thing that could be happening, that could be coming? I mean, keep in mind, a converted Titan is like the most powerful weapon you can imagine in the Warcraft universe. I mean, the only stronger weapon would potentially be empowered Azeroth. So if a cosmological force managed to convert a Titan such as the light, we may be in for a really big inquisition, and this would not really be a lot of good news for those that do not think the light is the ultimate savior of the universe. Even more interestingly, as you may know, there has been a lot of talks with the Cosmic Void and Shul, Elune, a lot of just pure void, which is intrinsically connected to the light as a cosmological force, so things could be happening on that front as well. An even more interesting thing to think about is that if this really is a light Titan, could it have been one that was a part of the Pantheon that decided this wasn't the right way, or a soul akin to Argus that was purposefully converted and pumped with light energy, which could mean that it might even turn on them if it realizes that it is being used? Honestly, potentially a lot of opportunities could open, and we could also learn a lot about the Titans themselves and how they work, as all throughout Dragonflight we've been learning that there is so much more behind the Titans than we had previously thought, and this could be just one more secret that we're yet to discover. Of course, it is also very likely that the Hearthstone art team just made this just completely out of nowhere just for the purpose of Hearthstone, and that is all, and that is, as I say, also a possibility. However, they could also be drawing in from future WoW lore that is hidden because of obvious spoilers, but they're claiming it isn't canon. This is just Hearthstone stuff, so they don't ruin the storyline that is to come in the maybe not even so near future for World of Warcraft. Thank you for watching. Check out Could We See a Void Demon Hunter 3rd spec by clicking on the screen, and check out the Notes Academy for videos of real world history. See you next time.